Let me ask you something. Have you ever complained about taxes, roads, schools, politics, development, public safety? Most of us have, right? Now, let me ask you an even harder question. How many meetings have you attended about those things? Exactly. Welcome back. I'm Law, author of Enunciate Your Needs, and this is The Game They Never Taught Us, the series where we explore influence, leadership, community, business, civic engagement, and how things actually work. Now, let's discuss the big lie. Growing up, I believed influence came from elections, right? Vote, wait, hope, repeat. In school, we enjoyed getting those days off when your school was used for local elections, right? And that's where those seeds were originally planted. But I'll be honest with you. After attending library board meetings, common council meetings, Board of Education meetings, and community events, I discovered something. Influence isn't just the vote. Influence lives in those rooms, in the room. So quick question. How many city meetings have you attended in the last year? 0, 1, 2 to 5, 5 plus. Drop it below. No judgment, just awareness. Now, here's something that shocked me. Most public meetings are public. Not secret, not hidden, not invitation only. Public. And yet, the same handful of people show up over and over again, while thousands may complain online. Like, some people know every city problem, but could not tell you where City Hall is. And that's why we're talking about it here. So let's discuss why people have no influence. I think there are 3 reasons. Reason number 1, we were never taught. No? Like, nobody taught us. School didn't, parents often didn't, community often didn't. Nobody explained meetings, boards, commissions, committees, public comment. Most people graduated knowing Pythagorean's theorem, but not how to influence the city in which they live in. Think about that. So when I say this again, it's about awareness. It's not pointing fingers. It's not blaming. But we can't fix something until we are aware of it. Did your school ever teach civic engagement beyond voting? Yes or no? Drop a comment below. Reason number 2, we confuse complaining with participation. Now this one may hurt. Complaining is not participation. Posting is not participation. Arguing online is not participation. Participation is showing up, learning, listening, contributing. A comment section cannot vote, but guess who can? A committee. Reason number 3, most people don't know where decisions are made. And this is the big one. Because most people think that the decisions that get made are made at the big meeting. Now, often, the decision was discussed long before that, which brings us to committees. Committees are where many decisions begin. I love illustrations, so you can think of it like this. A committee is the kitchen before the meal reaches the table. Public meeting is often the dining room. You following? The committee is where the ingredients are discussed. Examples, you have your finance committee, you have your education committee, your building committee, your economic development committee. This is where people ask questions, gather information, debate options, make recommendations. By the time some issues reach the main meeting, they've already been dating for months. See the importance of being in attendance, being in the know, and contributing. So if you want influence, follow the conversation before the vote. Now, let's talk about the most underrated thing in local government, public comment. Many citizens don't realize that they can literally stand up and speak, not scream, not rant, not become a YouTube clip. Speak. They can also ask questions, share concerns, provide perspective, represent their neighborhood. And here's the crazy part. Sometimes nobody does. Now, I've had the honor of attending a few meetings. Almost every Common Council meeting, before their agenda, which is public and posted prior to the meeting, before that meeting begins, one of the members of the Common Council team will ask, are there any public participants that would like to comment? And guess what? If you can't attend in person, at least in my city, you can even attend online. And they'll ask, are there any public speakers or public residents online who would like to speak? And I'll tell you, I could count on almost one hand how many times folks have actually taken that opportunity. But I can also tell you, the ones that have spoke, I remembered who they were because their message landed, especially when the school budget was in some heat. I will be honest, that was one of the first times in my 5 years living in this city that I have seen the city turn out. It was beautiful. At the Board of Education meeting, packed. Parents, grandparents, students speaking, sharing their opinions on why it was so important for the education budget to be supported. At the Common Council meetings, prior to the school budget being such a hot topic, you can pick whatever seat you want to pick at, front row, middle row, back row. But when it was time for the city to come together for that school budget, standing room only. And many folks, public folks, took the opportunity to speak. And it was beautiful. And I truly want to say, because of that, and as well as those that support it in Hartford, where all the cities came together, I really feel like that made the difference and helped get the results that the city, and I'm sure your city, needed and appreciated. So it's important for us to be there in attendance. Now, imagine when we think of influence, true influence. Imagine being an elected official. You have reports, budgets, recommendations. Then a citizen arrives. They're respectful, prepared, thoughtful, specific. Do you think that gets remembered? Absolutely. And this is how I explain it to young people. Imagine your school is changing something important to the students, right? It could be they're changing lunch, they're changing recess, sports, technology. And the principal says, anybody want to share their thoughts may come to the meeting. Now I ask you, would you show up or would you complain later? Most adults choose the latter, but we're going to change that, right? Now, do you want to know who often has the most influence? Not necessarily the richest person, not necessarily the loudest person, not even the person that ones may think are most connected. Often, it's the one that is most informed, because informed people ask better questions. Now, I want to take this opportunity to share a story. Recently, the library board, which I have the honor to be a part of here in this beautiful city, they posted up a community foundation little free library in the honor of Jarrell Hargraves, an individual that I did not have the honor to meet, but I was able to meet his family, ask some questions. And for those that knew him, he also served on the board. He was on Common Council. He truly supported his community, and it was felt and it was heard that day. While we were there, I'm getting to meet more people within the community, and I met this individual named Nathan. Now, prior to that event, I actually have seen Nathan several times at the Common Council meetings. Why? Well, Nathan is actually on the Common Council board. And after getting to talk with Nathan, it was clear Nathan cares about this city. Nathan was born and raised in the city. Nathan is like an historian. He does his research. He is informed. He's learning from those older folks on the Common Council team. But he is, again, born and raised from this city. And when he is speaking, it is clear that he is speaking truly for the people. Nathan gave me a tour of our library. Now, again, I'm on the library board, but I didn't know that the library that I serve actually has this historic room. And they have all these documents. And Nathan is showing me the old maps going back to the 1800s, how the city used to be. And then all the changes as to where we are now. He introduced me to certain articles that were written back again in the 1800s. And he blew my mind. And I kept saying to myself, wow, like it's amazing, but not. It's ironic, but not that he and I connected when we did, considering my recent journey and my desire to serve my community more, to be able to then connect with someone who is doing exactly that and looking for individuals to support that mission. But then I said to myself, wow, I wonder how many other folks are not aware of this knowledge, of this history that is in their backyard. Just as much as I wonder how many people are not aware of how they can truly, truly influence their cities by attending these meetings. Each one teach one. Most citizens don't need more opinions. They need more information. They need to understand and know who's making the decision. When is the meeting? What's the agenda? What committee reviewed it? What are the alternatives? These questions create influence. And I have to bring up AI because, folks, it's not going anywhere. But like all tools, it is a tool when used properly that can create effective change. Because here's where AI changes everything. You can now summarize meeting minutes. You can analyze budgets. You can understand agendas. You can research projects. You can draft public comments. Let's say some folks feel, I don't feel comfortable speaking in front of folks. Some of the meetings that I've attended, some of these folks got up to the podium, introduced themselves, and read word for word, never looked up. Did anyone judge them? Absolutely not, because they got their message across. Then you have some folks that are more comfortable doing public speaking, but you're there to create change. You're there to influence. How can you do so if we do not speak? And if you're familiar with AI, all you have to do is prompt it. Explain to me, as if I'm a 6-year-old, what does this budget mean for the city and for my children? Let's say your children are in the school zone. Enter. After you've uploaded that budget, AI will, in seconds, explain to you as you asked, to break it down for you in a way for you to understand. You don't even have to speak the language. You can ask AI, explain this to me in my mother tongue, Spanish, Polish, whatever the case may be, right? Like, there's so many ways that you can be more prepared for these meetings so you can arrive with more confidence and less fear. And this can be done in minutes. I've said it before in another episode. We have literally supercomputers in our pockets. And I encourage all of us to use them for good and use them less for arguing. Now, some folks may be asking, Law, what does this have to do with erotic intelligence? Everything, because relationships and communities fall or fail for similar reasons. What are those reasons? Poor communication, assumptions, avoidance, lack of participation, and some can even say lack of preparedness. In relationships, people don't say what they need. Problematic. In communities, people don't say what they need. Same problem. Different room. One thing I've learned sitting in rooms lately is that the people making decisions are human. And they're really, really cool people. They're not superheroes like some would think. They're not all-knowing. They're people with a heart and with a concern and with a voice. And often they need community input. But if the community never shows up, who fills the silence? I'm sure many of us have found ourselves in situations where whatever we were dealing with, Like for those who play sports, you ever be the most talented person on your team and you feel like you ain't got no support and you're still competing at a pretty decent level, but you're exhausted because you are doing most of the work. And all you can think of to yourself is, man, if I only had one more decent player, or if I just had another individual that understood the game, this experience would be completely different. I would imagine folks within our communities, within these organizations, within these committees feel the same way. If they only had more people that would participate, that would show up, this weight would feel lighter because more and more people are supporting and holding. So I challenge you, as I challenge myself, for the next 30 days, attend one meeting, just one. And when you attend, you don't even have to attend to speak, not to argue, not even to protest. Simply observe, learn, and understand. If you have your phone, take some notes. Then you could quickly upload those to AI. Or if you're old school like myself, I do both. I bring a notepad and a pen and pay attention to who speaks. Pay attention to who's on the board. If you're into technology, connect with such ones via LinkedIn. That's one of the first things I did after attending a few of the education meetings. I was like, I wonder what their background is. Then I got to learn more about the people on the board, to see who we have in common, schools we may have in common, universities we have attended, hobbies, likes, etc. Because these are the people that are influencing the change in the communities that you live in. You should want to know who they are. And you should want them to know who you are and your interest. Most citizens have no influence, not because they're not allowed to have influence, because they've never learned where influence lives. Now you know. This has been The Game They Never Taught Us: Why Most Citizens Have No Influence. The room isn't closed. The microphone isn't broken. The invitation was always there. The question is, will you show up? My CTA for the audience. What's one issue in your city you'd speak on if given 3 minutes at the microphone? Would you speak on schools, housing, taxes, parks, small business, youth programs? Drop it below. You may inspire a future episode. I appreciate your time.